In life, humans are social beings, constantly seeking connection and mutual support. However, you may not always receive help or companionship from those you trust the most. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you needed support from friends, family, or colleagues, only to be met with silence or cold refusals? Such moments not only leave you feeling disappointed, but also make you question the true value of relationships in your life. From the perspective of philosophy and psychology, these situations provide an opportunity to deeply understand human nature, learn how to build relationships, and confront the imperfections of society. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that happiness and peace do not come from expecting others to act a certain way, but from your ability to control your emotions and thoughts. Modern psychology adds that understanding human motives and behaviors is the first step to minimizing harm in relationships. Let's delve into the signs that some people may not be there when you need them, and how you can face this reality not only to protect yourself, but also to build a strong, self-reliant inner foundation. Sign 1. They are never there when you need them. Humans are social creatures, and relying on others is an essential part of life. However, there will be times when you realize that some people in your life are never there when you truly need them. This isn't just a personal issue, but also an opportunity to learn and develop independence through the lens of Stoic philosophy and modern psychology. Linda, a kind young woman, always prioritized others over herself. She was willing to put aside her personal matters to help friends in need. When her best friend Mary couldn't pay her rent on time, Linda didn't hesitate to assist. When James, her colleague, needed help with a personal project, Linda spent the entire weekend helping him finish it. But when Linda faced financial difficulties after a failed investment, she decided to reach out to those she had helped. Unfortunately, all she received were silence or insincere apologies like, "I am too busy, sorry I can't help," or "I really wish I could, but I can't." Linda felt hurt and disappointed. Instead of drowning in feelings of betrayal, she turned to Stoic philosophy and psychology, realizing that her expectations were the root cause of her pain. Stoic philosophy teaches us not to place our happiness on factors beyond our control. Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, once said, "What troubles you is not the event itself, but how you perceive it." If Linda hadn't expected her friends to help her, she might not have felt so hurt. From a psychological perspective, people often act based on personal interests, even unconsciously. Studies show that in stressful situations, the brain tends to prioritize personal safety and stability over concern for others. This doesn't mean people are heartless. It's simply part of their survival instinct. Stoic principles for handling relationships: recognize the boundaries between what you can and cannot control. Reevaluate your expectations of others. Build self-reliance and avoid overdependence on anyone. Understanding human nature can help you reduce disappointment. Instead of blaming others, look at the situation objectively and learn to manage your emotions. Jimmy, a successful businessman, often felt lonely despite investing heavily in social relationships. From hosting lavish dinners for friends to organizing large gatherings, he believed generosity would help him build a strong network. However, when his company went bankrupt, very few people were willing to help. Some friends even avoided him for fear of getting dragged down. Jimmy fell into depression, blaming himself for not cultivating more genuine relationships. He had made a common mistake, relying too heavily on others for his sense of worth. Psychological studies on relationships reveal that sustainable connections are built on sincerity and independence rather than mutual dependence. Stoic philosophy complements this lesson by encouraging people to seek happiness within. As Seneca once said, "The wise person does not depend on others to feel complete." Jimmy realized that instead of maintaining outward appearances, he needed to focus on personal growth. Focus on personal development, including learning new skills, improving mental and physical health, and creating your own value. Recognize and appreciate those who offer support without expecting anything in return. Build relationships based on mutual respect and sincerity. Happiness doesn't come from others, but from how you perceive yourself. A life built on inner peace and genuine relationships is one you can be proud of, even if you stand alone. Sign 2. Why do they never reach out first? This is a clear sign of an unbalanced relationship where the care and effort come from only one side. From the perspective of philosophy and psychology, this behavior is not merely a lack of attention, but reflects a deeper issue in how people build and maintain relationships. Reasons for not reaching out. They don't place high value on the relationship. To them, you are not a priority. This doesn't mean you are unworthy, but they may lack the commitment to invest in the relationship. They only care when it benefits them. Insincere people often approach relationships with self-serving motives. If they don't see value or benefits in maintaining contact, they won't make the effort. They lack communication skills or are indifferent. Some people don't realize that not reaching out can make others feel abandoned. However, this doesn't justify their indifference. Stoic philosophy teaches us that we can't control other people's actions, but we can control our reactions. When a relationship becomes unbalanced, here is no need to feel hurt. Instead, view it as an opportunity to reevaluate the role of that relationship in your life. I once had a close friend in college. After graduating, I realized that every meeting, call, or message was initiated by me. One day, I decided to stop reaching out to see if he would notice my absence. 3 months passed in silence. No texts, no calls. He didn't seem to notice or care about my absence. This made me realize that the relationship only existed because of my effort to maintain it. Though it was painful, I understood that it was an opportunity to free myself from an unbalanced connection. Lan, a woman I know, always organized family gatherings. One day, she decided to step back, hoping someone else would take on the role. However, no one reached out to check in or make plans. She realized that her family relationships only mattered when she was the one keeping the connections alive. These stories are not uncommon. They remind us of the importance of choosing relationships that are built on mutual respect and balance. Observe actions, not words. People who truly care won't let silence linger. They will find ways to reconnect if they notice your absence. Lower your expectations. The greater your expectations, the deeper your disappointment. Accept that not everyone has the sincerity to sustain a relationship. Set clear boundaries. Protect your energy by focusing on relationships that truly bring value. Take a step back. Stop reaching out and observe. If they care, they'll reach out. If not, it's an opportunity to reevaluate. Focus on valuable relationships. Invest your time and emotions in people who are always willing to spend time with you. Build self-reliance. Your happiness should not depend on someone else's presence. Find joy in your own values. Communicate clearly. If the relationship still matters to you, have an honest conversation. The other person may not realize that their behavior is hurting you. If someone never initiates contact, it's not your fault. It's an opportunity to recognize the true value of your relationships. Use wisdom and clarity to filter out those who are worthy of your time and energy, while building a strong inner self that isn't easily hurt by those who don't genuinely care about you. Life becomes lighter when you prioritize the right people and focus on those who bring true joy and meaning. Sign 3. They only care about themselves. Have you ever felt like an unwilling audience during conversations with someone? They endlessly talk about their life, achievements, or struggles, but never spare a moment to ask about or listen to you. This is a clear sign of someone who is self-centered, and relationships with such people often leave you feeling empty or even drained. This behavior reflects not just selfishness, but also a lack of maturity in understanding relationships. Common reasons behind this behavior. They crave attention. Some people feel validated only when they are the center of every conversation. They treat relationships as stages to showcase themselves. They lack empathy. Those who cannot put themselves in others' shoes often fail to realize that their behavior makes others feel ignored. They don't care about you. A more straightforward but harder to accept reason is that they genuinely do not care about your thoughts or feelings. Stoic philosophy teaches that while we cannot control how others behave, we can control how we respond. When dealing with self-centered individuals, it's important to recognize their role in your life and not let their actions disrupt your inner balance. A colleague of mine, boss, would seize every opportunity to boast about his achievements and plans. Whenever I tried to share an exciting project, he would nod absent-mindedly and quickly change the topic to his lavish travels or groundbreaking projects. Once, I decided to shift the conversation by asking about a specific idea he was working on, hoping it would lead to a more enjoyable discussion. However, instead of engaging with the topic, he continued talking about himself, completely ignoring my input. This experience made me realize that he had no intention of listening. He simply saw me as a mirror for his own stories, rather than a partner in conversation. Similarly, my close friend Clara often felt mentally exhausted after talking with an old friend. This friend frequently texted her, but the messages were mostly complaints about life, work, or relationships. Whenever Clara tried to share her own issues, she was either interrupted or met with dismissive responses like, "Yeah, but my problem is." One day, Clara stopped texting to see if her friend would notice. A month passed, and there was no contact. This made Clara realize she had been investing too much time and emotion in someone who didn't genuinely care. True friends listen. A genuine friend not only shares but also listens and asks questions. They value your thoughts and feelings. Don't try to change them. Self-centered people rarely change unless they recognize their behavior. Focus instead on how you manage the situation. The value of balanced relationships. Healthy relationships are not one-sided. Spend time with people who bring balance and mutual sharing into your life. Set boundaries. If you feel taken advantage of or ignored, establish clear boundaries. Decline conversations that you know will leave you feeling drained. Choose relationships wisely. Not everyone deserves your time and energy. Invest in people who truly add value to your life. Practice empathy. When facing selfish individuals, try to understand the root cause of their behavior. This doesn't mean you accept it, but it helps you avoid letting their actions affect you. Open communication. If the relationship matters to you, be honest about your feelings. Sometimes, people don't realize their actions are hurtful. Dealing with self-centered people can be exhausting and make you feel neglected. However, it's also an opportunity to reevaluate the real value of that relationship. Remember, balance is essential for maintaining emotional and mental well-being. Focus on keeping genuine, meaningful relationships in your life, and don't hesitate to distance yourself from those who drain your energy. Your life will become lighter and more fulfilling when you prioritize authentic and lasting connection. Sign 4. They forget what you share. Forgetting what you share is not just a matter of memory. It reveals how they perceive the relationship and shows a lack of depth in the connection between both parties. Have you ever felt disappointed realizing that the important things you once shared with someone were completely forgotten? The stories, plans, or feelings you cherished seem to have faded like passing clouds in their minds. This behavior not only reflects indifference but also highlights the level of care they have for you. Why do they forget what you share? Lack of genuine interest. When someone doesn't focus on the conversation, they won't remember what you say. For them, the relationship may not be important enough to invest emotions or attention. They are self-centered. People who focus on themselves often disregard others' story. They listen only to respond, not to understand. They see you as a secondary relationship. Some people don't value your role in their lives, which becomes evident when they don't remember what you've shared. Stoic philosophy teaches that self-worth should not be based on validation or responses from others. When someone forgets what you share, it's not your fault. It's an opportunity to reassess the relevance of that relationship in your life. I once had a close friend, and during one meeting, I told him about my plans to study abroad, a dream I had been nurturing for a year. I shared every detail: the school, the field of study, and the challenges I faced during the preparation. He seemed attentive and supportive. However, a few months later, when we met again, he asked, "Have you started planning anything yet?" That moment made me realize that the story I treasured had simply passed through his mind without any lasting impact. Although I felt disappointed, I understood it as a lesson to reevaluate our friendship. A genuine friend doesn't just remember small details, but also follows your progress and cares about your journey. Don't force their attention. If someone doesn't pay attention to what you share, accept that not everyone is deep enough to understand. Build relationships based on mutual care. Seek relationships where both parties show interest and respect for each other. Evaluate the value of the relationship. If someone frequently forgets what you share, ask yourself whether the relationship is worth your time and emotion. Have an open dialogue. If the relationship is important to you, be honest about your feelings. Sometimes, they may not realize their behavior is hurtful. Invest in caring individuals. Spend your time with those who remember and care about the little things in your life. They are the ones who deserve your attention. Develop inner confidence. Don't let others' actions diminish your self-worth. Focus on what you can control and find joy in those who truly care. Life becomes more meaningful when you focus on genuine relationships where you feel heard and understood. Remember, your value isn't determined by how much others remember, but by your ability to choose relationships that bring peace and happiness. Sign 5. Have you ever been in a relationship that only existed because the other person needed something from you? Such individuals often approach you with self-serving motives. And when you no longer offer any benefit, the relationship quickly fades. This not only hurts, but also makes you question your self-worth and value. This is not simply a matter of personality or selfishness, it reflects how they perceive and define relationships. Some people view relationships solely as a means to gain personal benefits. They do not build connections based on genuine feelings, but focus only on what they can take. Lack of empathy and understanding. People who lack these qualities fail to recognize the value of a two-way relationship. They focus on themselves and ignore the needs or emotions of others. Fear of losing benefits. Sometimes, their actions stem from a fear of losing the support or opportunities you provide. They keep you around only to ensure they always have someone to rely on when needed. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what is within our control. You cannot control how others behave, but you can control your reaction and manage your relationships. The key is to recognize your true value and not allow yourself to be exploited. A genuine relationship is a two-way exchange. A true friend not only takes, but also gives. They will willingly help you without expecting immediate returns. People who only reach out to you when they need something usually don't place much value on the relationship. Pay attention to how they behave when you need help. Respect yourself. You don't need to please everyone. Value yourself and don't allow others to take advantage of you. Set clear boundaries. Establish limits in relationship. If you feel exploited, don't hesitate to say no. This protects you and helps others understand your boundary. Evaluate the relationship. Ask yourself, is this person there for me when I need? If the answer is no, it might be time to let go of the relationship. Focus on valuable relationships. Invest your time and emotions in relationships that provide mutual support and joy. These connections will help you feel balanced and happy. Practice gratitude. Acknowledge and cherish those who are always there for you without expecting anything in return. These are the relationships that truly matter. People who always want something from you aren't always true friends. They stay in your life because of their own interests, and when you no longer serve their purpose, the relationship will fade. However, this is also an opportunity for you to evaluate and prioritize genuine connections where care is exchanged fairly. Sign 6. They talk behind your back. People who talk behind your back often don't realize the impact they have, or sometimes they do it for personal gain. The feeling of being talked about can hurt deeply and shake your trust in the relationships around you. Regardless of the reason, you don't need to let this behavior distract or harm you. Let's delve deeper into this issue, exploring the reasons, real-life examples, and wise solutions to handle it. Why do they talk behind your back? Jealousy. When you achieve success or possess qualities they desire, jealousy can lead them to spread negativity in an attempt to bring you down, to boost their own image. Some people try to elevate themselves by diminishing others. They believe that criticizing you makes them look better. Avoidance of direct confrontation. Instead of addressing issues or conflicts directly with you, they choose to talk behind your back as an easier method. Insecure. Those who talk behind others' backs are often insecure. They use gossip as a way to hide their own insecurity. Stoic philosophy teaches that while we can't control others' actions or words, we can control our reaction. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." This teaches us that inner strength comes from staying calm and not letting negativity disturb our peace of mind. Don't overreact. Avoid losing your composure over gossip. This behavior often reflects the speaker's insecurity, not your worth. Keep your distance. If someone consistently talks behind your back, maintain some distance. You don't need to cut them off entirely, but protect your energy. Focus on your action. Prove your value through your action. Your success and confidence will speak louder than their words. Communicate directly when needed. If the relationship is worth preserving, have an honest conversation. Sometimes, they might not realize their behavior is hurtful. Practice forgiveness. Remember, everyone has flaws. Instead of letting gossip hurt you, try to understand the reasons behind their behavior. Build inner strength. Don't let negative words shake your foundation. Focus on self-improvement and achieving your goal. Choose positive relationships. Spend your time with people who bring positivity and support to your life. No one deserves your energy more than those who genuinely value you. Stay calm and rational. When you hear gossip, ask yourself, does this really matter? If the answer is no, let it go. People who talk behind your back can't hurt you unless you allow them to. While this behavior might cause disappointment and pain, it's also an opportunity to reflect on your self-worth and the relationships around you. Your value doesn't depend on others' words, but on how you face and overcome challenges. Focus on what you can control, maintain your inner strength, and keep moving forward with confidence and peace. Sign 7. They change their behavior depending on who they're with. Have you ever met someone who changes their behavior entirely depending on whom they're with? They might be warm and genuine when talking to you, but in the presence of someone with more power or status, they become a completely different person. This behavior not only erodes trust, but also reveals a lack of authenticity and consistency. This type of situational change is not merely a social reaction. It exposes deeper flaws in human nature, such as insecurity, selfish ambition, and low self-esteem. Psychology explains that people who lack confidence often adjust their behavior to align with those they perceive as important. They seek acceptance by compromising their true selves. Why do they change their behavior? Seeking personal gain. Their actions may stem from a pragmatic mindset. According to pragmatic philosophy, they believe every action must yield specific benefits. Therefore, they are willing to adapt their behavior to win the favor of those who can help them achieve their goals. Fear of exclusion. Known as social fear, this insecurity makes them alter their behavior to avoid judgment or rejection. They believe that adaptability will help them maintain their place in a group. Lack of respect. Stoic philosophy teaches that when someone doesn't value you, they act inconsistently. This is evident in how their attitude shifts in the presence of others. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that honesty and consistency are the foundations of a meaningful life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not let the behavior of others distract you. Always do the right thing, no matter who is watching." This perspective teaches us that a genuine person doesn't adjust their behavior just to please others. Modern psychology aligns with this idea. Studies on self-esteem show that people with high self-esteem don't feel the need to change themselves to impress others. Instead, they focus on building relationships based on honesty and mutual respect. A friend of mine used to be friendly and attentive when it was just the two of us. We shared many conversations about work, family, and life's challenges. However, whenever we met with a group of friends, especially those with higher social status, her demeanor changed. She ignored me and focused on pleasing the people she deemed more important. When I asked her about this, she laughed and said, "It's just social etiquette." That's when I realized her interest in our relationship was superficial, and our bond wasn't deep enough to sustain trust. A genuine person doesn't change how they treat you, regardless of the situation. Honesty and consistency are vital for building lasting trust. Observe their behavior. If someone changes their attitude towards you depending on the situation, pay attention to their actions. This helps you understand their true motives. Maintain your distance. If their changing behavior hurts you, keep your distance and don't invest too much emotion in the relationship. Build relationships with consistent people. Focus on those who treat you with honesty and respect in all situations. These people will bring genuine support and joy to your life. Have an honest conversation. If the relationship is important to you, discuss their behavior openly. Sometimes they may not realize their actions are causing harm. Focus on personal growth. Develop your self-worth so that you don't depend on others' validation. Someone with high self-esteem won't be affected by others' inconsistent actions. Both philosophy and psychology stress that a happy and meaningful life begins with genuine relationships. Life may not always bring you perfect relationships built entirely on sincerity and mutual support. However, through these imperfect experiences, you have the chance to understand your own value and the people around you better. The absence of certain people when you need them serves as a test of your relationships and a valuable lesson in cultivating self-reliance, lowering expectations, and focusing on what you can control. Happiness doesn't come from others' recognition or help, but from how you build your own life. Choose companions who are truly worthy, cherish sincere relationships, and learn to find peace within yourself. When you master your emotions and strengthen your personal values, you'll not only face but overcome challenges in relationships, creating a happier and more meaningful life. If you find this video helpful and inspiring, don't forget to share it with others. See you in the next video.